Well, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot thank you enough for coming here and celebrating with these kids what they've accomplished this semester. I am very, very proud of these kiddos sitting behind us, and I know the weather is not the best today, and we could have easily canceled this concert, and probably none of you would have been super upset with us, but I wanted them to have a chance to do what they do. And we do have some absentees because of weather, and it's completely understandable. We're going to go forward with the show like good entertainers would. We hope you enjoy this. I will be sending out a program electronically tomorrow. That was one of the things that just I wasn't able to get accomplished trying to do all this by myself. And so you will get a program. They'll have a souvenir program that I will print them also. I also was concerned about handing out papers with what's going on. Thank you all for signing up. Thank you for socially distancing. Please enjoy the performance and the hard work of these wonderful young men and women behind me. The first tune is called Joyful Bells of Christmas. And now also, since you're doing a program, our music selection is a complete surprise to you. So, the next tune we're going to do, something I know you'll all recognize, and it's really interesting. The poem was written in 1938. It later became a song. It was a poem about a red-nosed reindeer that a man wrote for his daughter. They were having a very difficult Christmas, and I'm sure that some of us can relate to that right now in 2020. And in this, he told the story of overcoming. And so then it went on to become a popular song and got recorded and has become the #2 Christmas song of record sales of all time. This will feature our first trumpet on solo, Ben back here, and you'll get to hear him solo on this. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I've told the kids about this next tune. It's called Christmas Chimes, and this was one that the high school band did the very first year I was here, and we got it out just to add to our concert, make it just a little more interesting for folks. We usually do a little bit more, I use the term highbrow or maybe challenging music with them, and I told them that in this year I've kind of come to realize that playing fun stuff and making you all happy is a little more important than I had remembered. And sometimes we do things for us, and maybe it's not as much fun for you all. So we're getting back, this concert's about playing a little more fun for our audience and just celebrating this time with some really great music. This tune you have heard probably several different ways. And it's originally a Russian tune. It's in a minor mode, and in the end, they flip it and use what's called a Picardy third, which means that they make the last chord major. And the whole thing having been modal or minor up to that point, it has been called Christmas Bells, Christmas Chimes. I think there's one that's even Christmas Chips and Salsa, or Chimps and Salsa, because this has been used so many ways. But it's a really nice old Russian tune. Our version is called Christmas Chimes. And it's just pretty straightforward. It's played in 2 keys. Don't be that person that claps when we get to the middle and stop and you think it's over. You know, that I told the kiddos, warn your parents. And by the way, those of you that see the trash cans on wheels back here, they have condensation in their brass instruments and they have to empty that. And that's one of the reasons I stop and talk between tunes, if they have to do that. We now use trash cans. They have always done that actually since we moved over here to the high school band room, because we have a nice carpet in there and we don't want to ruin it. But they've been particularly good, and I want to praise them for that. They're very, very responsible folks, and I'm very proud of them. This is Christmas Chimes. That was what the high school was doing back when I got here, and we've relegated that tune to the junior high and hasn't been played in many years. You know, it needs to be shared because it's just too nice. The next one is a little more lengthy. This is more of a high school band tune. This is a Christmas Time with Charlie Brown, taken from, of course, all the music from the cartoon, and it's some of the best out there. Completely different from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, even though it's also in something of a jazz idiom. In fact, a lot of it is purely jazz, but it's very different and very nice, and this gives them a chance to show off some different abilities. You'll hear some different kiddos coming through as soloists, basically, but this is, again, Christmas Time with Charlie Brown. of fun to work on, and I hope they get a chance to see the special this year. I know at Halloween they didn't televise the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, but I'm hoping that they're going to go ahead and do that for this one, and the kiddos will get to see it. Want to stop for just a second and mention some of our kiddos that have been successful in some of the region trials. And I know you've heard, and you're tired of hearing it like the rest of us are about how things are different. Well, this year, auditions are video auditions for all region, anything we're doing later on for all state. And we had 3 kids, they're in the jazz band, they're also in the concert band, and they decided to go ahead and audition despite the challenges of setting this up and doing this from home and doing it on the computer. And all 3 of them made the high school all-region jazz band, and I want to recognize them. In the trombone section, we have Sam Lanuti over here. He's a senior. And in the saxophone section, although he actually made it on guitar because he plays guitar in jazz band, we have DJ Smith. He is also a senior. And then back in our percussion section, we have Mr. Logan Moss, and he made it on drum set. You notice they're getting to use some of their jazz abilities in this ensemble also, which is quite nice. The next tune goes right along with that. It is a rock chart, and it's called Jingle Bell Rock. Now, I'm not a big fan of this on the radio, I'll be honest with you, but the band arrangements are way better to me than the vocal things that are on the radio. And of course, this, for some reason, I haven't seen the movie in longer than most of these kids have been alive, but the Die Hard movie, for some reason, I think they did this in Die Hard. Maybe it's something else, maybe there's another one, but I'm remembering one of those old movies that they did this in, and when I hear them play this, it reminds me of that. I'm like, wow, you sound like you could be playing this as the on the film score. So I'm really proud of them for this. The jazz band has another arrangement they also play that we're going to, by the way, do a virtual rehearsal Thursday of the jazz band at 4 o'clock. You can Zoom into if you want to. What that really means, it's a concert, but it's a way we can use our PAC. We can't have people in it. But the jazz band is a little smaller than this group, and they can fit on the stage, so we're going to use that. It'll be Thursday at 4. If you want to Zoom in, we'll send the Zoom link out, and you can watch that. It's really a concert, but we're calling it a rehearsal so we could use the space. So I've been up front with my administration. I said, this is for the state. We're doing this. So, and if there won't be any adults there but me, so it's all good. But anyway, I try to be honest with things and with the kids. But this little arrangement, Jingle Bell Rock, is really nice. It lets them kick back and play some stuff that would be a little more like what you might hear at halftime or in the stands at a football game, but with a Christmas theme. It's really a lot of fun. One thing we must do before we go on. There's a young man back in our tuba section that is having his 18th birthday today, and foregoing anything else, he came to the concert, which I'm very thankful for. Mr. Sean, would you stand up? We're all going to sing happy birthday to you. Audience, this is audience participation time. Anybody want to start this that has a good voice, because you don't want to hear me sing? Anybody? No? Okay, well, sorry. Here we go. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sean. Happy birthday to you. Because I didn't want to forget, and I'm really good at forgetting, especially the older I get, the more I forget. Our closing tune today is called a Christmas Special. I wanted to just tell you all about this just a little bit. This was the traditional tune here at Farmington. I bought this the first year I was here, 33 years ago. Back in those days, we couldn't get on the internet and order music, and it took a lot to get tunes ordered back then. You have to go through the purchase order process. You have to know exactly what you're going to get. You have to look through a catalog. You have no idea what they're going to sound like. So I went over to Tulsa. There was the company Save Music that's here in Fayetteville now was not here then, but you had to go to Tulsa to look through music. This was one Christmas tune I could find, and bought it, brought it back over here, and we've been playing it ever since. And it's very interesting. It's very Charles Ives-ish at times. And if you don't know much about his music, I would ask you, go Google him and see what he was about. He was really ahead of his time with doing atonal and strange music, and he would use tunes that were known, but for one of his pieces actually is, and we're talking late 1800s, two marching bands playing the same tune, coming together, playing the same tune in two different keys. And they pass each other and then march on. You know, they're supposed to be like in a parade situation or maybe Mardi Gras in New Orleans. But it's very interesting, and sometimes you hear some really bizarre chords and such in it. Well, this is a similar treatment, particularly the ending, which is Jingle Bells. You're going to hear a very strange mechanical Jingle Bell sound, but it's very intentional. And this arrangement is kind of Ives-ish at times, but with Christmas tunes. So a lot of tunes you'll recognize. It has all sorts of different little tidbits here and there, but they will clash at times, and at times they'll be very, very beautiful. But this is a Christmas special. It's a tradition here at Farmington, and I wanted to make sure we shared it with this generation of kiddos. So here we go. This is our closer. Thank you all for coming. If you want to help us tear down when it's over, obviously we have to clear all this and get it all out of here, but I didn't want to keep anybody over 30 minutes, so you'd all be safe. Please have a wonderful holiday season, and thank you all for being here to support these kiddos today. parents and you know, but you can tell them I look forward to coming to work every day. I have the best people in the world to work with, and I'm very thankful for them. Thank y'all for coming out, and thank you, band, for being so awesome today. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and go home and be safe. We're going to clear this, and then we'll be done. Everybody stay warm, stay out of the snow unless you just want to be in it, but be safe. Thank y'all for coming today.